Welcome to Gilliam. It's a mystery. In this episode, we're going to look at open records. I received this letter from the mayor. It's been almost 1 year since this was filmed, but not much has changed.
And how these financials work, our physical year is July 1 to June 30th. It's it's not the calendar year. So what you're gonna, how we have it and how we have it in the QuickBooks, or well, it's not QuickBooks, but Intuit.
Okay.
You'll see some revenue coming in. So like this year, it's showing us down $49,000 negative, because we haven't gotten all our money for this coming up part. We get most of our money in the fiscal year towards the end of the year, because the tax money, or the franchise fees and all of that money starts coming
after the first of the year.
The first of the year is when all that money comes in. So that's why we're negative 49,000 right now. There's a couple of things that she was just explaining to me. We got $28,000 right here in this fiscal year for the library project. Well, we didn't spend it until this fiscal year, so because it just got paid in the fall. So that's where this money comes out. Library expenses, $38,000. That's all in there, and it's all broken down in the cash flow here. So that's not. It shows different, but at the same time, we did have a big expense of putting a new roof on the bank building. So that's where it kind of.
Speaking of the bank building, do you have a lease for this guy?
Do we have a physical lease? No.
So you have no lease? Do you have a contract of any kind?
No, it's always just kind of been a handshake deal.
Okay. And
how
how much does he pay a month?
He pays $2,000 a year.
Yeah, rental, 2,000 a year.
Yeah.
It's in here
Okay.
where the money comes in.
Actually, it was $1,800, and himself went up to $2,000 a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And what does he do?
Well,
he owned a cotton.
yeah, he was a cotton broker when he first rented it.
Okay.
And then
Sample cotton.
Yeah, and then after so many years, I guess he closed his business, and he just wanted to continue to keep the.
I think he uses it for storage.
Yeah, he has
He's
it
basically
antique somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, he's always he's had
Okay.
it for, I don't know, as long as I've been.
Well, as long as I've been clerk, and that's 21 years, he's rented it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I just, we spent $20,000 for the roof and another $4,000 for the AC. Do you have copies of those bills?
I do, but I don't have them with me.
Okay.
Or they
We
may
have
be
it,
in there.
The roof, we can show you where it went out.
Oh, I know. I know. It
bill.
was $19,600. I want
Right.
to see the actual invoice.
Oh, no, we don't have that kind of stuff. We'll have to.
It's in the records. And
Yeah.
I mean,
I know it should be
Yeah.
in the records. It's
Yeah.
normally part of any. Were there 3 bids?
I don't remember. I think so. Or maybe we only got one bid, and that's who got it. I'm going to tell you about bids for this village.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get them.
Okay.
We usually get one if we're lucky.
Oh, and I've had the same problem in my house getting people to fix.
Yeah.
You know.
And I can't remember.
So you don't have a lease, you don't have a copy of the contract for the roof, and you don't have a copy of the contract for the AC at this time.
As far as the contract, I remember we had the bill. I mean, the guy bid.
Yeah, the bill,
Yeah.
the contract, whatever.
The bill for the AC, he paid for it,
Yeah,
right?
he
paid for the
it.
$4,000, and we're not charging him.
He actually paid it was $8,000, and we split the bill with him, and he doesn't have to pay rent for 2 years.
Yeah, that's kind of what the
Right.
agreement we made on with it.
Okay. No, that's what I read in the minutes, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine. But I just wondered if there was a lease, a contract, or
No, we really
anything.
haven't ever.
Okay.
Really haven't ever got it.
And Jimmy pays $50 a year for a occupancy fee.
Occupational license.
How is that calculated, and how did you come up with that number?
Well, I give him a chart every year. It shows, it's based on your sales.
Okay.
And that was voted on.
That's been in since day one, forever.
So anyone that has retail sales has to have this permit, is that correct? What about just a regular business?
A business, yes. If you have income, you're supposed to have an occupational license.
And how many occupational licenses do we have?
Well, let's see, about 6,
Okay.
I think.
And Does the gin pay anything?
No, farmers are exempt.
From
Yeah,
what?
That's a federal.
That's
No, it's
federal.
not. I couldn't
federal
find
bill.
anything. I looked at the Louisiana tax code. They are exempt from sales tax when they buy seed and fuel, but not property tax, not fees. I mean,
It's
can
still
you
business,
show
it's
me?
still business.
Still a
Well,
business.
I mean,
You
we
have
can
an
talk to,
occupation.
I mean, we aren't the ones that pick and choose who does it. That's the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office is in charge of collecting all taxes. So we implement that stuff to the Sheriff's Office
No,
or to
no,
the tax
no,
assessor's
no,
office.
we're not talking about parish tax, we're talking about village.
Right. We
The
don't.
millage, do you do that, right?
Yes, I do.
So when you say farms are exempt, do you have any farm exemption forms?
No, when I started, now this is what I was told when
Okay.
I started, that the farmers are exempt. Now, that's what
So you have no documentation, no paperwork, you can't put any law that says farmers are exempt.
No.
That's just what
Is the
you were
gin-
told.
I don't know. Is the gin in the city limits?
Yeah.
Well,
It
what
is
those
in the
grain
city
silos
limits.
are.
The grain silos are.
Well, the grain
Dead
silos
Grain
are not.
Center
That's not-
is.
It's a business, isn't it?
That's not a business. That's
What
not
about that
considered a
plumbing
business.
store next to Jimmy that sells farm equipment?
Piping, plumbing.
And what about the guy that runs the bank?
Does Adger, does Helena Chemicals?
they
do.
pay, yeah.
Yeah, they have to pay.
Well, we'll have to look at it and see if we're missing any of them.
Or it's
Yeah, I mean, if you can't point me to a law or a book or a page that says this is farm exemption, that's all I'm asking.
Right, right.
If it's the
We'll
truth,
talk to
fine,
the,
just where?
Yeah, we'll talk to the tax assessor's office and see where that's coming from.
I
I'll
just know
receive.
when I started,
I understand, and I believe you,
Well,
but
they
I'm just
told
saying,
me-
I need to see it in writing.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Gilliam Service and Supply, they pay it.
oh, yeah,
what about the mechanic shop?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's 6 right there.
1, 2, 3.
Main
4.
Street, the,
Chemical.
Rains,
David
David
Rains.
Rains.
David Rain pays. Did
Does that
the,
shock you?
yeah, because I've asked twice and they said no, they're a nonprofit. That's why, like, really? Okay.
Well, I send them one every year.
I know. That's why you got to do open records to find out. You know, people say some things, and sometimes they're not right, and sometimes they are. You know, that's why, you know, there's documents and there's way to verify it. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, if it's there, great. I have no problem with farmers getting a break. I just,
We do need to look at that and see exactly what, and if there is others in there.
yeah. Because if you go to if you just go to Google and put in farm exemptions, Louisiana, it'll bring you up to the Louisiana codes, and they're exempt from all sales tax.
Right.
And that's it. Just when they buy seeds, they buy fuel, when they sell
Well,
their tractors.
and then
Yeah, but
federal.
they
I'm on
have
the
to
federal.
apply for all that. They're not just automatically exempt.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. But you are saying they're automatically exempt
Well, no,
for
that's
the
what I
village
was
of
told.
Gilliam. I know,
That's
but
what I was told.
I understand that, and I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying, but you know, if they are, you know, if it's written, is there a city ordinance that was passed that exempt
Well, that
them?
could very possibly be, and I
Do
don't.
we
I'm
have a
not-
copy of all these city ordinances that have been passed?
Helen Adger had them. They should be somewhere here, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
I'll try to look
We'll
through some
have
of
to
that
dig
stuff back
around
there.
in the
Yeah.
farm.
And the computer system you use, is it owned by the village?
That's
No,
something,
it's not.
yeah, and that's something we're fixing to have to.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
fixing to change.
We're
all
trying to
that.
get
Right,
our
I'm
money
about to say,
right.
because you're subject to open records, because you're doing business, same with you, if you use your personal email for any
You're
type of
welcome
business.
to go in there and
No,
look at
I'm not- I
anything
don't-
I have in
But,
that.
I mean,
I
the
don't
problem-
care, I'm
the
just
problem-
saying that's the law. I mean, that's
Honestly,
okay.
the problem right now is we have $23,000 in our money market account, and we've got $2,900 in our checking account.
Yeah.
I don't feel it's a time for us to go spend $2,000 or $3,000 on computers. Maybe, and that's what I'm gonna talk tonight. We need to. They're moving out. Bell to Gill Water System's moving out when they close the water system.
Right,
in the
did they
next month
pay
or two.
anything?
They pay $50 every 6 months.
$50 every 6
So,
months. That didn't cover
that's,
anything.
uh,
Okay.
That was a service, and which I know you don't really understand.
Well, I can't
that.
use the water to do nothing but flush the toilet. I mean, you can't drink it, you can't, you know.
if you can figure out the water system problem up here, I mean,
I still by law, I cannot use the water for any human
Right.
consumption. That's
Yeah.
that's a law.
right.
No, I used to
Even though
work,
other people are using it, it's against the law
Right.
to use the
Yeah.
water for anything except washing dishes and using
Well,
showers.
not anymore.
No, you have to use a chemical
Well,
after you get done washing the
But
dishes.
you're on Blanchard now. So
right,
you-
it's the same.
Not yet.
Well, Branch
How do you
hasn't
know?
tied in.
Because they test my water. They test the water, I still have chemicals in it. The last test they
So
gave.
it's in your pipe then.
It's in the
pipe.
system.
pipe
And right now,
system
legally,
somewhere.
they cannot use the water for any human consumption.
Who
Right.
tests your water?
The health department?
Health
Board of
department.
Health, and then they send it off to a lab, and the lab brings it back to them, and I get a letter, and I have to legally post it
Right.
at the register saying they cannot use any water or ice manufactured from the water system.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't know if I mean, the best option we have is what we have, what we're going with now is Blanchard. I mean, that's
Well,
the biggest water
there's
system
other
up here.
systems out there.
What do you mean as far as,
Well-
that can get us water? I mean, Blanchard, Vivian, I've
Well,
talked
no,
to the
we
mayor.
have the water. We just need to clean it.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know who's going to pay for that.
Well, if everyone's taxed fairly, you would have the money. If we're not,
We have maybe 40 houses that pay taxes. So, I mean, I'm not going to spend, if you got
Right.
$10,000.
well,
for
but
each
we
of us,
got
that's-
grants to put the new roof on the bank, right? I mean, we didn't pay for that. That was
Yeah,
a
we
grant.
did.
We pay.
Okay, so we can spend $40,000 for a roof for a building so a guy could have his stuff stored, but you can't figure out a way to add more filtration to the water
We don't
coming
own the
in.
water system, so we got.
Yeah, but once it comes into the village, we do.
We don't own the pipes.
Yeah.
How do we own the pipes? We
You
don't
own the right of
pipes.
way they go through. Do they pay
No,
anything
we
to
do
run
not.
the water pipes through our things like the phone companies and the power companies do?
No.
So they get free use of all the right of ways with not being billed. Well, if we build them for the right of way, then we could afford to have our own filtrations put on every
Where
home.
would we put it?
We put them in every house.
So.
Seriously. I mean, don't you like clean water?
I don't live.
Well,
They're
you don't
not
live here,
using
so you don't
I
care.
know.
I understand.
Put the filtration system there, and that becomes our new water supply house.
And you do know those two tanks were put in for the fire department.
Yeah,
They were
for
funded by
department.
the fire department for,
Backup
the water
water
system here was never designed to put for the houses. It was put in by a grant in 1999 to fund the fire department. So those tanks actually belonged to the fire department. And then Gilliam Water Company took it over and used it for their water system in Blanchard.
Yeah, I must have taken it over. Well.
But the problem is, you don't know the
it's not
history
on
of
the
what's going
spreadsheet. Yeah,
on.
it's not on the spreadsheet of the fire department is what I was looking at.
Right.
So-
Well, a grant,
I mean,
well,
it's
what,
not
it's
there.
not,
Yeah,
it
it's
wasn't
not
given
there.
to them. The
Right.
village asked a grant to build those tanks for the fire suppression system. Then, once the tanks got built, the Belgraph Water Company, however you pronounce it, took them over and used it to put water in all the houses. And I can show you the paperwork where they
Right,
got
well,
the grant.
And the problem with, they're not, but Blanchard's supposedly not using that tank, is what I was told, because it costs too much to upkeep a tank.
The chlorine level would cost them a fortune.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
To keep it up and to keep it circulating, so they're cutting that tank off.
Right.
And just gonna use this as part of the system.
And that's fine, I'm just saying, but that's who paid for that tank was the fire department back in
Through a
1999.
grant or through?
Yeah, through a grant.
Yeah.
The village got a grant to put the tank in so the fire department would have water in these fire hydrants, and then immediately gave it to the water company.
Yeah, because they didn't wanna.
No, that was the whole plan from the get-go.
Right. Well, I mean, honestly, as far as the town, I mean, you can look at where we're
Yeah.
at. I mean, we're $4,000 profit a year. We don't bring in a lot of money. We don't collect a lot of taxes at all. I mean, we collect more from a franchise fee
Our
from your insurance fee.
franchise gets us quite a bit of money.
Right.
And
And is there a breakdown of all these franchise fees and money that we make?
That's through the tax collectors, or do you get that every
I
time
get
too?
that.
Yeah,
And
can
they
I
just-
get a copy of that?
Who sends them, let them know that they have to pay that, SWEPCO and all that?
Well, that's just like we raised SWEPCO, they were paying 2-3%, and we raised them to 5%. It has to be okayed, it has to go through a process, and I can't remember if it's an
And
ordinance.
is there no reason that this can't apply to the water company as well? I mean, it's the same right of way, same everything.
Well, when you think about that,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna be paying that franchise tax.
Right, but then that money will come back to the village that can pay for things here.
I mean, but if let's say we do a 5%, I mean, what are we really getting at? We get a 5%, let's do what we do with SWEPCO,
I mean-
5% on my water bill at $50 is
Be $7.
$7 times
40.
40, so we're at $280. We can't.
Is that a month or is that a month?
That's a month. So $280 a month times 12. We're looking at $3,400. What can we really do as far as putting a filter on anything?
Well,
Actually,
no,
you
it's not
probably
going to
can
pay
take
for
your
the filter,
$5.
but it's going to help.
You take your $5 yourself and be able to put it towards your money to get a filter at your house is how I look at that. That's my political side of it. Is that
that's fine.
We're giving that money, and once you give it to a town or whoever, you're never going to get it back.
No.
And then we're supposed to keep all this upkeep and make sure your filters on your house and all that. Where I would just say, let's just leave you with the $5 or whatever it is. Yeah. And you put it on your house.
Well, where does the
yourself.
ownership start and stop with this utility company? I mean, do they own the pipes all the way up to the house?
No,
do they own?
No,
to the meter.
Only.
Yeah. On the back side of the meter, it's your responsibility. And if you have a leak, they will tell you that.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. So they own going down the road and everything up to the meter.
Yeah, and they're fixing to
So they own all those pipes in the road and through the neighborhood.
And that's who, where they're putting the new pipe in there, and they'll put a new meter on your house. That's part of the big project they're doing with all of them. They're about to put where they be radio meters. That was part of the grant that they got from the state.
Will my pipeline be bigger than a 1/2 inch? Because right now mine is only that big. Supply. I need actually a 3/4 inch line minimum.
Now that's
So
something
you know
we
what
have.
Well, that would be up
When I
to
was-
them, James.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know they're going to replace the meter. I don't know as far as what feeds the meter on that side, if they're going to deal with all of that. I
Yeah,
don't
because
know.
I'm the tail end of the whole town. I
That's
have the
crazy.
last. I had the last.
Well, you had to go down
water
to even
supply.
get you to hook up. They didn't even want to hook
They
them up.
weren't even hooking me up. I literally had to go to the Board of Health to say, hey, I have no water. What's the problem? And I told them, and they turned around, and next thing I know, they were digging the thing, and they gave me, well, this is the biggest one we had with a 1/2 inch line. I said, and you're going to expect to run 2 bathrooms, a shower, a commercial kitchen, a commercial everything.
Yeah, it's a big building.
1/2 inch ain't gonna fly.
Yeah.
Right.
My minimum is 1 1/4 inch.
Well, I would take.
That's
I mean,
the requirement.
Blanchard would be.
That's by law.
I would talk to Blanchard because
Yeah.
Blanchard
Oh, yeah.
would be okay. Because I mean, they would want
But
to
I
give you some more.
don't need to be there at the end of the dump. I need to be up here. So so everybody goes all the way down line and they messing with it. I'm getting all their trash. I get pink. I get gray. I get.
Well, I'm on the. I get it. I'm at the end of the line on Azure. I mean, I'm the last house on the right. So I mean, I understand.
Right.
Well,
We get a lot of
yeah,
sand and stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not saying the water's great, by no means, but I don't know any solutions from the village standpoint. I mean, we don't have enough people.
Can we change the subject a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. The town does not use the store. All the other towns around here does. We need to somehow start using this store so it can get more money so we can pay more taxes towards the town. So we need to get people interested in using the store. Is what I'm trying to say is if we don't start using the store and once that new one's open here on Highway 2, this store's gone.
Yeah.
And you're going to lose all that income. I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing.
Well, and that's a good thing. I mean, I know you want to put up this big poster on the side of the library.
A mural.
Mural, whatever.
Well, it's more of the historical society is the one that's their project.
big
We're just
project.
helping.
Right, we're
helping
funding
support them.
$3,000 worth?
Yeah, 3,000.
2,500.
2,500, yeah.
2,500.
That's what we're putting
Okay.
to it.
And is there any evidence or anything that says that those things actually bring business or tourists?
No, it's not necessarily. That's not what when we decided and voted as a council to approve that. It was not it was more of a beautification of it and a memorial for people that had helped the town.
I'm just
build
trying
it
to
up. So it was not. It was never the function. And what we looked at as a council at that time was never our function was just for profit to generate business. It was more, that one was more to beautify, just like you cut the grass and all of this stuff is to make it a prettier mural on the wall. And they came to us with a chunk of money that they wanted to spend on it and asking us to help support it. And we thought that would, we could do that.
Okay,
And that's kind of really what the whole the council has been in the village is all been set up is more of just trying to make the village a nicer place to live. It's never been. That's why there's not a big taxes. There's a little bit of taxes just to keep everything Because if not, this very well could go away, and the parish could just come in and have to cut the grass, and all this would be donated to the parish. And that's really not what we want, because then you got to go down there and sit in a Caddo Parish Commission meeting and talk to one of your representatives, Todd, which I like Todd to death, but he represents the whole northern part of the parish.
Right.
And where are we really going to get done? And, you know, we have to worry about, instead of somebody here locally, we can say, hey, Johnny, you want, you know, the grass is getting tall. Can you cut the grass? Or, hey, Johnny can't do it. Let's get somebody else to do it. That's all out of our hands. And then we're at the mercy of the parish coming in and having to run all of this. I mean, and that's why it was all set up. There's many of villages this size. We're in the top, I think we're number 8 with number 1 being the smallest village in Louisiana. We're number 8. So that's how small we are, where these things just go away. There's nobody that wants to do it. Nobody wants to be the mayor. Nobody wants to be the police chief. There's no county council. Then it goes away, and the money goes, you know, and the people goes money back to the people, and there's none of, and this all goes away. I mean, that's where how little small towns, and they become villages. They become a community then, and there's nothing, and you're just owned by your parish.
We're not incorporated anymore.
And not incorporated, and then that's what I'm very thankful for who's been here before, because this very easily could have happened to this small place.
Yeah.
Is that could have happened, and there would not be any of this going on. And that's kind of the vision. My vision as the mayor going forward is to try to, you know, make it a nice place to live.
Sure.
And not want to, you know, I'm not out trying to raise a bunch of taxes to try to do all this different stuff. It's more just to keep what's a small town feel, small town living, try to keep things nice as much as we can. The little bit of money we got to maintain the place, try to do that and do the things we can. I mean, honestly, they've had all these buildings donated. I mean, Miss Logan and Miss Adger donated. Miss Stinson donated the library to the town.
No, they didn't. They sold it for $75,000.
Oh, was it to the
Yeah,
town?
it was.
The
You got
town.
This town
The town
got a.
paid $75,000.
And I got
that?
documentation. I just got open record from them today.
Oh, that would be awesome if I could see that. I didn't know that. Well,
I didn't either.
I thought it was donated.
I didn't.
No, it
No,
wasn't.
it was sold.
Well, I mean,
they
that's
got a
still-
grant for $75,000 to buy the old Adger store and rehab it, and the money went to Miss Adger.
She didn't
Yes,
own
she
it.
did.
Well, she sold it. She owned it.
Did Helen Adger own?
Yeah.
Oh, the old Adger store, but not your Adger store.
Well,
Okay,
there's-
okay. I'm sorry. I was
That building that
Yeah.
has the
It
bank
was the
at one
floor
time
shop.
was the store. Then they moved to where Jimmy is now. But that building in 1999 was sold to the village or to for. I'd be happy to share the paperwork
Well,
with you.
I mean, but anyway, we got all these buildings, and now we have to maintain them, or
Right.
we have to sell them, you know, at a public sale and all of that. And then, you know, if we can even sell them, you know, it's. I mean, like that
Well-
building. I think what we're doing with the library. I'm just glad the library still, Shreve Memorial Library, is willing to
Rent the place.
rent the place and do what it does.
Yeah,
with it
it's
and
the
have
biggest
people-
cash flow you have. I mean, you
Right.
get $9,000 a year and you only spend $6,000.
Right, and it doesn't really do anything.
And that's against the contract because it says all the money made has to go into the library.
Right.
Have you read the library contract?
I have not.
Okay, I'll be
Right, I
happy
mean,
to
I mean,
forward
I
you a
really
copy
just-
if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean but it's good that there's something in that building because it very
Right.
well could be abandoned. I mean, and that's where I mean, and I
Well, I
think,
mean, Miss Adger did real well. $75,000 for that
There
building.
was 5 people that owned that building. 4.
Whoever.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, even in 1999, there was no way that building was worth $75,000 in the condition it was in.
Did you see it in 1999?
Oh yeah, I've been through here. I was raised in Shreveport.
well,
I had relatives.
That sounds. I mean, I'm glad the town was able to do that and it not be abandoned like the other buildings. I mean, and that's-
Oh yeah, she. Anyway,
Yeah.
but the bottom line is, it wasn't donated; it was given.
Okay. Well,
Also,
I was mistaken
I would-
about that.
yeah, I did not know
thought
that.
yeah.
so
Tonight's meeting, is it posted 24 hours ahead of time with the time, date, and location on this building?
it's in the post
It's in the
office.
post office.
That's
We can move
against
it over.
It's
it's
actually supposed to be mounted on the outside of
this building. That is,
It's
That's by
easier.
law.
It's easier to put it in the post office.
Well,
than put
the
it on
law
the-
says it has to be
You
here.
Open up the metal box, you
Yeah.
put it in. I used to have it at the store, a metal box outside. No one used it, no one posted it, so I just took it down.
Bottom line is, has anyone gone through any training here? Has anyone gone, I mean, I know y'all all went through ethic training,
Right.
but has anyone gone through open records training, open meetings training, any of the council members, anyone? Have you gone through
No.
any of that training?
No.
Miss Land is trying to get through them. What I'd like to see, because it's really hard on Miss Land, she's getting older, we need to really move it to 6:30, like what the the internet says it is.
Yeah.
We really need to move it to 6:30. Not really.
Well, I mean-
and at the same time, as little bit as you do, I would like to do it every other month, all
Yeah.
at the same time, because we don't really have much going on. I mean, you look at the money we have coming in and coming out. It's not. I mean, we have two things on the agenda.
Can you bring that up?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
really important.
Yeah, and then I
'cause
talked
she
to her
works,
about it
she
when I
works
talked to
in
her.
the mean part of the bank,
I
and
get that.
it's really stressful.
Yeah.
She got to take people's property,
Absolutely.
cars, houses, and it's just real stressful.
Well, Amy works in Bossier also.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's just really hard to get.
Well, I mean, you advertise it in the post office, not in the buildings, the law requires. On the website, it says one thing, and you do it here. I mean, you could misconstrue that this is a it's deliberately done to keep the public away. Now, I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying it could be misconstrued that way.
Yeah, we will put it.
So
up
you
there.
need to get it all together and follow the
Get the
law.
little pennies
That's
put
all.
back to where they go.
Yeah,
It's going to work a lot smoother.
Yeah.
Right now, it's really frustrating because it's not following the
And
way it's supposed to be followed.
There's a website with really nice slideshows that can run you all through how to, do the things. I know it's time consuming, but you wanted to be mayor, be mayor.
Absolutely.
know.
I mean, and we're trying to do the best, and everybody that's done here before has tried to do the best for the people. There's no malicious intent. There's no malicious trying to do anything. That's I guess what I want to construe is that we're trying to do the best with what we have to try to keep it where it's
Right.
at, where it doesn't go into something else and it doesn't go away and we have no control. I mean, I don't make a dime off any of this. I mean, there's nobody. She gets paid very little. It's like $200 a month.
$350.
$350
I
or
get $450.
$450
Oh,
a
it's
month.
$450?
Yes.
And when you notarize, do you charge the village for that?
No,
Okay, no, just a
Yeah.
question.
do not.
Okay.
So I mean, this is what we're trying to do is do the best thing for the village and to keep it what it is. I mean, there's no it's always been very. I mean, like you said, I think this year was the first year they've had an election because
Yeah.
most of the time it's whoever wants to do it volunteer to come do it. Miss Adger used to talk about she used to beg people to come be the mayor, and she would sit down there hoping somebody would come run against her. I mean, and when I moved here, she started talking to me about doing this, and I was just like, I don't,
No, it's time consuming.
And, I mean, and anything you can help me with is say, hey, this is how we should be doing it. That's fine. I would love to. I would love any kind of help I could have as far as, hey, this is what we need to do. If we need to post it on the front of the building, that's fine.
Well, it's just the
Instead of
law. I
posting
mean,
it.
it's written
Right,
in,
absolutely.
you
I mean,
know.
I think it's not the intent to hold it. I mean, I think everybody that lives in the village has a post office box.
I
Maybe
don't,
not
he
this-
doesn't.
I don't. He don't.
Well-
I know a lot of people don't.
Okay,
No.
well, I mean,
You know
it
how
was
much a
always
post
in
box
public
costs?
sponsor. Yeah, $87. It just
Right.
paid for a
And
year.
why do the village, even have one? We've got a
I was told
door.
by the post office general to put it outside, away from the post office.
Because, I mean, I don't think they know.
I know, I just brought it up to him and says, and yes, you should bring this up. So it says right here, open meeting, public
Yeah,
body.
and the other.
I just asked, no one in this village has ever been trained. There's the mayor, she has never gone through anything but the ethic training, period.
Yeah, that's all we did.
Right, but I mean, she's been here 20 years, you'd think.
Oh, well, maybe they didn't have it for 20
Oh, no, they
years.
did.
You're
They-
supposed to go through training every year. You do another
Yeah.
piece. You keep on learning as you go.
And they don't have any documentation on this farm exemption. It is just what she was told.
Oh,
That's it. I'm like, well, I need to see some kind of documentation, and they're going to check into
yeah,
that.
we'll have to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just show me somewhere in writing it says that. That's all I'm asking.
I don't know, because I don't know that.